So, gentlemen, thank you for taking time out tonight. We're talking about a big topic today, what fuels the revolution of the Indian automotive industry in the future. Gulati-san, I'll start with you. Today, you are having one of the most comprehensive lineup of fuels amongst your fleet, be it globally and in India. So where do you see the mix taking place for the time to come? Do you think it'll be hybrids? Do you think it'll be EVs? Do you think it'll be alternate fuels? There's a lot of chatter that's going on currently in the present, but I think as an OEM, you'll have a unique insight into what can happen in the years to come.
Oh, well, first of all, thank you for having me here. You see, automotive industry is shaped by the demands of society, whether it's for mobility or it's for societal issues such as energy and, of course, decarbonization. These are the two themes which have been at the core of driving the transformation that we are currently witnessing in the automotive sector. And the recent developments have only heightened the focus on one of these two themes, which is energy. And I think going forward, irrespective of the geography that you're in, whether it's Europe or US or India, this would be the most critical aspect that drives the direction of technologies within the automotive sector. For instance, just some numbers. Just before the war happened, our average price for the crude basket was around $78. 1 month before the war, it was $69. Currently, it's around averaging around $114 to $16. Every $10 increase in the price of this basket means $15 to $18 billion of annual addition to the import bill. It translates to a current account deficit of around 0.5 to 0.6%, and of course has inflationary impact and also an impact on the growth. So why I'm quoting these numbers is because a lot of the energy that is crude, that is for which India is hugely dependent, is consumed by the automotive sector. And the automotive sector is growing at a phenomenal pace, primarily because of the super increase in the mobility requirements of the population, which is young, aspiring, infrastructure is improving. Last year, we closed the fiscal with 4.7 million cars. This April is been the highest ever numbers for, I think, most of the categories of automotive. So, given this background, the task before us is that we have to shift to cleaner energy formats which are indigenous, and we have to do it now at scale. Now, if that is the paradigm before the nation, before the society, then clearly you would need multiple solutions. You would need everything to be thrown at the problem to actually make any difference. So we believe that, as is the case elsewhere in the world, in India also, the future is going to be definitely moving towards a sustainable mobility paradigm. It is going to move away from fossil fuels, but there is going to be multiple clean technology solutions that are going to play the role. It's going to be battery electrics, it's going to be hybrids, it's going to be plug-in hybrids, it's going to be ethanol, it's going to be CNG. And I think that's how the future is going to look like for the market, not only for the mid to short term, but also for the long term. Thank you.
Okay. Manmeet, there's a lot of talk about technology, and today Qualcomm is at the epicenter of it. We're talking about AI cockpits, we're talking about software-defined vehicles. While we can really go very deep into this topic, first I would request you to shed some light on you as Qualcomm, what do you see software-defined vehicles to be? Because I believe it's a term that's quite loosely used for a lot of things, but being at the core of it, what do you think that is? And how do you see India fitting into that definition of software-defined vehicles for the future?
Yeah, sure. So, see, software-defined vehicle is a very broad term, but if you say centrally what it is that the architecture in the car is changing. We used to have hundreds of small ECUs which used to control. We have now one central compute. It is going towards zonal compute, central compute, and eventually it will go towards central compute. And eventually it will be a AI-based architecture completely. So it's basically when your software starts controlling the definition of what around that should be built. That's basically when you call software-defined vehicle. But it is also about, it gives you leverage. You can create a digital twin in the cloud. You can do continuous integration, continuation testing, CI/CD. You can even, like for AI models, you can train the new models with the synthetic data and put it in the car. So you don't need to be really testing those always on the roads. You can you can make it implement those things very fast, and you don't need to test on the road, but you can test on the cloud and put it there. So that's how the architecture is changing. Now coming to the next level, definitely AI is going to change how you see the cars. We are already seeing these changes in certain geos like China. We are already seeing a lot of stuff is coming to India. Our partners, and in India partners, I'm talking about Indian, they are putting a lot of thoughts into how to put AI, which basically benefits the users. And for example, with the transformer-based architectures and LLMs and VLMs, now we have the SoCs, which can basically run all these without going to the cloud. It's on the edge. And earlier we were talking about use cases like basic use cases. A few years back we were talking about manual or cabin control and all. Now we are talking about is something totally different from entertainment use cases. It's all VLM-based use cases. For example, you can while you're driving, you want to read what is on the billboard. You can just tell the car to read and dial a number. Okay, to that level, to playing with the conversation with the car, AI agentic assistant in the car, which can control, which can be sitting on your car, sitting on your mobile, sitting on your other devices, maybe an Alexa device, and then you can give them the command, oh, change my meeting, book me a restaurant, and do this thing, and it will do it. Okay, and this is happening. This is already happening in geos, and you will see once people start using these AI agents, because while driving a car, it distracts you. So that's not going to distract your voice command, voice activation or voice assistants are already there coming. Voice assistant with SLMs are basically can cover almost all Indian languages today. So all dialects can be covered. So even that conversation, which used to be very typically, very English-oriented language with a very specific phrases, now that's gone. You can switch it in any way. You can speak in any way. You can mix Hindi, English. You can mix different languages, and it will understand. So that's one thing. And now with the screens in the car, you cannot control all the screens with your hands, so voice is needed. So that's the first thing which is already coming. I think within this year, you will see voice assistant everywhere. Second will be AI agents or your companion, you can say. Then there will be a multimodal architecture where you can say both text, image, and voice. All three can be interpreted in one single command. So you can show the picture and say, what is this? Or please, what is that you are seeing here? So all that car can understand and act upon that. And the last one is the safety side also, even on the entertainment. So when we talk about ADAS and all, we'll talk about that. But basic stuff, monitoring the driver. Is there a tensed? Is he feeling, is the heartbeat increasing? You can have those sensors. You can have is precipitation or something is happening. So you can accordingly alert the driver, alert the family or any contact. You can even stop the car and wait for it, or drowsiness of the driver. That is also happening. If you are seeing the driver is not able to drive it, you can actually stop the car, alarm it, and if it's still driving, you can actually maneuver the car and stop it. So all those are safety features. So this is coming. We are seeing already even a lot of companies in India already experimenting, and I think with the way these transformers are developing, the VLM is developing, the synthetic data is now available to train these. This is going to be very fast. So it's not like multi-years away. This is maybe in a couple of years, you will see all these things.
Fantastic. So, Vinkesh, a lot of talk for the future, right? I mean, it won't be wrong to say that the automotive industry today is experimenting with a lot of things, be it different kinds of fuel, as Vikram San mentioned, or a lot of approaches to technology, as Manmeet mentioned. Do you think where we are today in terms of the India's skilling ecosystem, do you think we're keeping pace, and what do we need to do for the future?
So, but thanks for keeping me the last, because the tone was said by Mr. Gulati. Future is great, auto is doing awesome, and when Meet said it right, it's now becoming very feature-rich and everything tech. No doubt, skilling is the biggest gap today. Whatever we say, we are just catching up. If you really understand, when ICE was stabilized, the kind of manpower the OEMs, the component manufacturers and dealers had was actually 90% of what we wanted on the quality. But if I talk of EV or even hybrid, or forget about those, the technological changes like ECUs and all those things, I don't think so. We are still up to around 30% or 40% of what is required. And the problem is not a skilling in our system. The problem is the thinking of customer also. At my dealership, I get at least 25% customer coming to please switch off the ADAS. I don't want that. Whereas that's a safety feature and a great feature. But still, the acceptability in Indian market to all those advancement in technology is still. So yesterday I was talking to one of the brand in which car every school says that school is ahead, please be something. So I asked them, why is it saying in the night 12 o'clock? Is the school on at 12 o'clock? So you should have an AI where it should not speak after the school hours. So these are the things where customers are also coming to us in a different mode than what we are trying to produce or manufacture and upgrade with them. So coming back to your question, yes, we still have a gap in skill. No doubt we are all trying to reach a level which at least supports the system today. But is it enough? I agree it is not. Because there have a lot of changed. Because if you remember, we used to have one person for each job. So if a car comes for service, there was a mechanic, then there was a denter, then there was an alignment technician, then there was electrical person, then there was an AC guy. Today, everybody wants that one person should know everything, and who touches the car does everything complete, because the mechanical things are now all standardized. It's all matured. Now, the problem which is coming is through newer technology, which is ECUs not getting matched, or you have to update it, or it's a gap. So that is where the issues are coming. But no doubt the industry on an whole is working, and with the kind of advancement we are seeing from the future because of energy change and all that, we have to do a lot. But at Automotive Skill Development Council, with support of SIAM, ACMA and FAD, we're trying to do whatever we can in the short time we have got to improve our skilling.
So a follow-up. So since, as you said, everything's moving so fast, the feature set today or the cars coming to the dealerships, they're changing by the minute. Do you think for the future team who will be taking care of these cars from the customers, do you think the academia and the industry needs to work together a lot more and perhaps a bit faster to catch up?
See, I'll tell you what the basic problem is. The industry, academia, and the skilling partners, all the three, they normally come together when there is some responsibility which comes from the top. So if there is a CSR budget, then they think about it. But if you talk about a marketing head of any OEM, he'll never think about how should I correlate with an academia so that my dealership or my industry gets an auto-ready people. So if an industry is present in X location, maybe Manesar, so has that industry around 200 kilometer touch base with all the academia so that once a month, one of the senior guy from service, technical or marketing goes there to understand to the student what they want and tell them what we want from them. So that's missing in our, so it happens. It's the same problem with the dealerships also. whenever we are in need of a employee, we go for campus and all that. But during the year, we don't bother also that if we can support in their technical or on-job training and all that. So that is where ASDC is trying to meet them, make them come together. So like we are talking to AICTE to have a mechatronic course in normal BTech, which will be obviously an elective course. We are doing an auto Olympiad with CBSE, like maths and science Olympiad, for class 6 to 12, with a purpose that the kids get inspired to join auto in future. Because even today, everybody thinks of becoming a doctor or an engineer. Nobody thinks of getting into an auto line. So that is what we are trying to do with help of all the manufacturers and trying to rope in many academia also.
Okay. So to wrap this up, I'll request all of you, because you all represent a very unique aspect of the automotive industry. So say the future that we have, be it a couple of years from now or a few more years onwards, if you could sum up that time frame in a sentence, how would you do that? Vikram, we'll start with you.
Sum up as in what we see going ahead?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the future is definitely going to be one that's going to be very bright in terms of growth of the industry, with shift clearly towards sustainability and smarter features, as mentioned. So that's the direction we're heading to.
Manmeet.
Yeah, so I'll also answer. So we also see I think sir talked about autonomous or ADAS as of today and people, and we have heard about that. But you see, there's a transition phase. Today, these ADAS features, they're particularly like expressways. They work, people are using that. When it comes to Indian highways, now Indian highways have certain conditions without lanes and all. So when these are rule-based features, rule-based tags are written, you perceive, your camera perceives, your radar sees, and then you act accordingly. But in Indian conditions, most of the highways sometimes have no marks on the lane, no side lanes marked, and that's why there are certain issues where people are feeling. But this is a transition phase, and then comes to urban environment. India is a very chaotic urban environment, but now we are talking about is a vision-based transformers. Now, what happens in that case is when you have written it, you are learning from what your vision-based transformer, from the driver, how he's driving, all that. So those transformers keeps learning from the behavior. And then now they're embedding it with VLMs, which is language models, which are seeing the scene and acting accordingly. So what I'm saying is the advancement which is coming in the AI and the SoC and the chipsets, because we can run those big transformers in the car. And because of that, they can learn. Okay. That is the changes coming. So the conditions of India are not going to be very difficult. Now what you need is a data set, and then they will train it. So it is not that difficult to catch up. Okay, if you have to start writing rules-based, yes, at certain time, because of the chaotic conditions in certain highways and all in India, it becomes difficult. But now within few years, you will see they are very improved, advanced autonomy features, which will work very properly. And people, once they start using, once you have got a time to keep less attention on driving and do something, people will like it. It's just like those features have to work. But what I would not be that confident a few years back, but now with this vision transformers and then plus VLMs integrations and the data set being collected, I think this will come in next few years, that you will have a very good autonomy features, and that will be the future.
Vinkesh, very quickly, in a sentence, how would we wrap this up?
I see the future having the right mix of all the energy. I don't think so diesel will finish or petrol will finish or whatever. We see a right mix. But seeing the customer profile, whichever energy satisfies the customer on the economy scales, on the hype stage or whatever, will have a better percentage. And obviously at ASDC we have a bigger task, so that we'll have to be prepared for all the energy. So before it was very easy, we had to only train of engine and carburetors and all that. But today we'll have to train even for hydrogen also. I don't know when it comes. So it's a bigger task for us.
Good training is the
good
answer.
Training, and more reskilling is needed, because there is a huge manpower which is working in auto industry. You cannot just move them out. We have to reskill them, and maybe at times unskill them to be reskilled.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your thoughts. It was a great conversation. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for your time. Thank you, Manav.